Hello, and welcome to another episode of Quonk. In this episode, we'll be learning hard surface modeling of a helmet with the help of a sculpt we learned how to make in the previous episode. Remember, you don't have to copy me on this, just try to apply the lesson principles to your own models. Well, let's get started. First, we want to create the model instead of just building on the sculpt. So, press Shift-A to add a new mesh. It doesn't really matter what you select here, but I'm going to go with cube. Align it with the helmet. Scale it down, and then align it with the center line by setting the location coordinates on the x-axis to 0. So it lines up nicely in the middle here. Now, enter edit mode and delete all but one vertices. We're going to make this the visor, so rename the object over here visor. Now, set the magnetic snap mode on and set it to face snap. Then press G to move it, and it should nicely sit on the sculpt. I'm going to place one here, 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 and up here. Then I'm going to move it along like this. And put it in the middle. To align it with the center so it merges, you can either set the x coordinates to 0, or you can add the mirror modifier now and turn on clipping. So you see, if you turn on clipping here, then you can only move it as far as the center line. I'll put it in there so the x coordinates are still on 0. Now I'll just move this over a little bit. And then I'm going to extrude off here. So press E to extrude. And you'll see that these vertices are no longer aligned with the sculpt. So we'll grab them individually and set them up. We want to have three faces to correctly capture the curve of the face. So we'll grab these and move them up a bit. Notice that if my cursor is not attaching to a face, then this will not snap to a face. It will just move as if you were grabbing it without the face snap mode on. Then extrude off so we get a second face and a third one down here. You'll notice that this eliminates the need for another face here. So I'll move this to the side and then extrude out. Then we'll extrude to here and here. Then we'll press Z to enter X-ray mode. And you'll see how these vertices aren't connected to form faces. So I'll press B to box select these faces, and then press F to form a face. We'll select these, press F, maybe move this over a bit. Put this in, then we'll grab this one, set them all up. Okay, good. And now we'll just need to capture the rest of the visor down here. So we'll press E, E again, maybe drag that inwards a bit because this isn't part of the visor. Extrude down. Put one here, there, then capture it with a face, F again, and then we will move an edge up here, move it in, grab this, this, and this, form a face, and then finish it off with one last face. Notice that the normals for this face are facing inwards, whereas the rest are facing outwards, giving them this grey color. So I'll press W and select Flip Normals. To find out if any of the others need their normals flipped, like these two, we'll just set on Mesh Display Normals. And you can see these aren't showing. So I'll grab this and flip them. Finish off this face, and then they're all good. Now we'll turn on Subdivision Surface Mode, set the subdivisions up to 3, and then we'll grab it and move it out so we can see the results. Notice that we did not capture this crease. So what we want to do is to crease this edge by beveling it. So we'll select the edges, grab these 3 that go along the crease, then press Ctrl B to bevel. Move it out, and then that crease turned out quite well. So we'll just move it back. But you'll see how this doesn't crease as nicely as it does in the sculpt. So what we want to do is delete this edge, then extrude out a vertice, connected there, then maybe connect these 2, and we want this to crease in here. So let's just try that out, see how it looks. Looks okay. We'll just bring this out so the crease isn't so obvious further up. We just want it to be visible around there. And then this whole edge here, we have a problem with this edge not being creased enough. So let's maybe dissolve this edge. No. We'll press K, make a slice. Another one down here. Dissolve this edge and see how it looks. Looks pretty good. Remember, when you're modeling, you normally want all quads, so you don't want any triangles or n-gons such as pentagons. However, since it looks fine here, we can leave it. So just grab it all, move it back into alignment with the face. But notice we also need this band as part of the connecting the visor to the helmet. It also runs down here. This is not part of the glass on the visor, so we'll make it separately. We can duplicate a vertice with Shift D, and we won't be connecting this back to the mesh. We'll turn back on our magnet snap mode. Put this down there, maybe extrude it up there, extrude it out over there, and then put it down to there. Now, to extrude out along the x-axis, it won't work because we have clipping on. So let's turn off clipping now, shall we? Then we'll grab the whole thing. You can select the entire connected mesh by pressing L, then extrude out along this way. Maybe turn off magnet clipping now. Rotate it. Put it down here. Extrude out along there. Rotate. Rotate again. Extrude down, but you see that won't capture the crease. So what we need to do is either extrude out like that and then extrude down, Or we could simply extrude down and then bevel it. But this works quite well. I'll just press Shift V to slide it down to tighten up the crease, then press L to select the entire mesh, and flip the normals. Then we'll get back to business. Press Shift Alt right click to grab the entire loop of edges, move it in, then extrude down like such, and then down to the bottom here. We want more of an outward curve rather than this S curve where it dents in at this point. So I will press B, drag it out, and then that looks a bit better. I'll just rotate this and then follow the sculpt to drag it down there to the bottom of the glass. Now what you'll see is that the edge of the thing just comes in and stops there. So I'll press Shift Alt right click to grab this loop of edges, and then Shift Alt right click again to grab this one. And then let's drag it down and also inwards. Then we'll crease it off over here. And maybe here again, so it doesn't look too rounded once we do it. Shift B, Control B, and then, okay, that looks pretty good. We'll just hide the sculpt here, or you can select it and press H. And then we'll look for any minor changes that need to be made. So, the problem here is that these come through. So I'll just press Shift V to drag it along so it gets about close enough, and then we will set the X coordinates to 0. In fact, we'll just Shift Alt right click this entire edges, press Scale X 0, so they're all perfectly aligned on the X axis, and then set the X coordinates to 0 to make sure they're all merged. Let's see how that looks relative to the visor sculpt. Okay, it looks pretty good. Unfortunately, the visor sculpt has this crease here, so we'll see how that lines up. We're going to have to drag this edge out slightly, so we can press B to grab here, then drag it out a bit to the side, make sure this aligns a bit better, and then set it up in the middle. So I'll press Shift B to deselect those, then we'll drag it up, and we'll turn clipping on so this doesn't get dragged out. We'll move it out like that. Shift Alt to grab this area, and then that looks like it works. So we'll just grab this area, fix it up so it's an outward curve, maybe a bit more, and we'll do that again, needs a bit more. Okay, good. So now we'll move on to the next part.